Now let's look at another word with an R in it. It's one of the basic things words. The word for book is libro, libro. Now here's another example of an R after a consonant. So, li, now the second syllable is bado, bado, bado. Again, you have to say it quickly for it to work. It's not libdo, that's the English D of dog. And it's not liberdo because there's no English R in it. It's just libro, libro, libro. That means book. Here's another good word for you. Nombre, nombre, which means name. Now you may have heard ¿cómo se llama or ¿cómo te llamas in your Spanish class. Llama, llamas does not mean name, it means calls. In Spanish you can ask someone, how do you call yourself? And that's a colloquial way of asking someone for his or her name. You can also use the word nombre, which literally means name. Now again, we have the consonant and an R combination. So this word is pronounced nombre, 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 nombre. Here's a word that looks a lot like it but is different. Sometimes students get them confused. Número, número, which means number. Notice the accent mark. So that's where we're going to stress. Now here the R is like the fast double D of the English word buddy. Número, 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 number. As long as we've got name and number, let's look at another D word with an R. Dirección, dirección, which means address. Dirección. Again, accent mark is here, so it's stressed on the last syllable. Now it looks like direction, it means address, and there's no sh sound in it. It's an S. The first C is a hard k sound, direc, and the second C, the C before I, is a S sound in Latin American Spanish. So this last syllable is ción, ción, ción. Again, the I blends, turns into a Y, so it's one syllable. The DI is like the English word the. And again, this fast double D a buddy. Direc, direc, dirección, dirección, address. Now, we looked at the word su, which I said could be used to mean your, the polite professional way to say your. And we've looked at please. I'll put that over here. Por favor. Here, we'll underline the Spanish spellings so you can see them better. And I want to show you a simple way that you can communicate in Spanish without having to say everything in a complete sentence. When you're learning how to speak a language, there's a lot of information you have to think about. You have to think about the words, trying to recall them, the pronunciation, the appropriateness in the context, and you're sometimes a little bit nervous and things are moving very fast. So when you're learning to speak, you want to keep things very simple. And you want to learn the basic elements for what you're speaking very well. Overlearn the material. When you're reading or writing in a language, you've got more time, you've got resources, you can look things up. It's more of an understanding sort of knowledge and not a producing sort of knowledge. And even when you write, then you have time to think. Speaking is different, so you want to keep things very, very simple. It's like working on something in your computer and you're trying to download a file off the internet. If your computer's a little slow and the file's very large, it's going to take a long time. You want to keep the files simple so they download instantly and you can use them right away. So let's say you're in a customer service situation and you need some information from somebody. Now you could ask the complete sentence, what is your name, what is your number, what is your address? Or you could just use these words and say, su nombre por favor, your name please. Su número, por favor, your number, please. Su dirección, por favor, your address, please. Or even just the word if you can't think of anything else. Nombre, número, dirección. As you can see in communication, you don't always have to speak in a complete sentence. Sometimes in grammar classes, they want you to answer in a complete sentence because they want you to practice the verbs and the other vocabulary. But sometimes this is artificial for speaking. And sometimes trying to think of the whole conjugation or the whole sentence loses the whole dynamic of the conversation, and it's easier to just go for simple.